right, Raider Nation. Well, it's week 6. We face Pittsburgh with a brand new quarterback taking snaps for us this week. So let's get into it. It's imperative to note before we really get started, gentlemen, this week the Pittsburgh Steelers decided to go with Russell Wilson and then went back to Fields again. So
They scared,
I
huh?
guess we're facing, I imagine so. We facing Fields this week. So again,
that's good. We got 5 games of film on Fields with them. We don't have none on Wilson, so easy. Should be a lot of, as far as the scheme, should be a lot easier to draw up than to see what Russell Wilson would have been doing.
Well, hey, the way I see it is like what we had discussed earlier. Anthony said we owe Fields one big time.
Yeah, I was just about to say it again, too.
Anywho, let's get into it. I think this week on offense, establishing a mixed bag of run, pitch, and catch rhythm via power football could be key because Pittsburgh this week has been using a 4-3 man as of late over their traditional 3-4 hybrid type defense. That said, big gaps and rushes, tosses, and short intermediate passes may prove to be successful since Pittsburgh also has the tendency to play their secondaries way too deep. Namely, that's cornerback Joey Porter and free safety Dante Jackson. They play him too deep. That said, it's also imperative to note that we should cut off defensive tackle Cameron Hayward and, of course, that outside linebacker. You guys know him, T.J. Watt. And that's what I have to say about us on offense. On the defense, in my opinion, we must keep our heads on a swivel. That said, containing the rush, basically they have 2 rookie running backs this week. But because Najee Harris is listed again as questionable. But yeah, containing the rush and containing the tight ends, Connor Hayward and Frymouth, plus their receivers in George Pickens and Van Jefferson on passes will likely be key, especially with George Pickens being set up for the screen. But also, I say getting good pressure on Justin Fields should prove effective too. And lastly this week, for the pregame, it's imperative also to note that Pittsburgh excels at blocking field goals. So gaining touchdowns is a must, along with gaining the time of possession, or TOP, because that might well be the deciding factor in this one. But again, with your aforementioned type rhythm, and moving the ball should be easy, especially for O'Connell and company, at least in my opinion. And basically, that's what I really have to say as far as a pregame analysis or synopsis this week. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts?
I agree. I just think that it's a question of are they going to take heed to the ball control and time management of this game and just taking a Watt out the game because that's kind of who Watt's a wild card, no? Because don't he just seem like he just do everything well, you know?
Right, but lately he's been awfully quiet. More quiet than usual, I'll say.
Yeah, we
You
want
really
him to
haven't
stay
heard this
quiet
name
at
come
least
up
one
as
more
much.
game.
That'd be nice.
Just
But
one
the
more
thing
game.
is that it's been Cameron Hayward who's been really stepping up
Oh, the old vet, huh?
on that line.
Yeah.
Right. I was shocked to look at the last 2 games that they've had that they've been going with a 4-3 man. That surprised me because Pittsburgh and Carolina were basically the only 2 franchises in the league who's been using a 3-4.
Mm-hmm.
But I noticed lately Pittsburgh has been rushing 4 men instead of 3. And I found that surprising. Because I'm like, well, normally they do a 3-4. Usually a drop zone is one of their type deals. But I'm going to tell you guys something. their defense looks a lot like our old defense from back in the day, where we have 7 guys up front and the secondary is way too deep. It's one thing to not get beat deep, but there's another thing when you play way too deep.
Yeah, you don't want to take yourself out the play.
Right. And what happens is that you have a hole created right in the middle of the defense. And any receiver or tight end that can get in between that, you hit them with the ball, and usually you can get 10, 15 yards easy on someone, and they'll nickel and dime you to death. Slowly just grind and chip away. This was their problem against Dallas last week. CeeDee Lamb was, gaining 10, 15 yards per carry on his catches because they had this huge unguarded gap in the middle of their defense.
You know why? Because they're gambling everything on the rush.
Yeah. And I gotta add this too, guys. It's surprising because this year, if you look at the defense so far, the strength has been the secondary. So, I mean, I'm shocked they played that far off the ball. But that game last weekend, was it last Monday or last Sunday?
They last.
Yeah, that should have been a win with Joey Porter Jr., but he played that just right, man. But that secondary has really been a strength, and, those weaknesses that were exploited, I'm surprised they haven't fixed it. Because when I watched their game this season, the strong point has not been their front 3, their front 4. It's really been that secondary. So I'm just shocked, man, that they were kind of sloppy last week.
Yeah.
Well, again, the thing is with that, like I said, leaving that great big hole, you guys know that when you play that deep, by the time a receiver makes the catch in the play, by the time anybody can get to him, the guy has already ran 10, 15 yards, sometimes even 20.
Yep.
And, that can prove to be dangerous after a while. I was shocked that they had this great big hole. It was like, I'll tell you, it was like our defense was back in the Gruden days. This heavily unguarded defense, and they just pick us apart.
Right.
And you're looking like, man, why are you? It's either the secondary is playing too deep, or you got your front 7 playing way too shallow. Nobody's dropping back into coverage, and nobody's coming forward out of the secondary. I'm like, at least bring one guy up forward. If you're not going to bring them all, fine. Bring one guy up forward. Probably put him in a zone, even if the rest of them are in man. Okay, you bring that one corner up, or even a safety, and you put him in an option. So everybody else is in man. This guy is in zone. And what happens with that is that you have the ability to even spy on the quarterback and probably make a decent play and, stop their drive. Could be a momentum shift too. Might get an interception out of it if it's played right. So, but this has been the problem with that. And with us and our receiver core, I think if they just get right in that sweet spot, there is no way they're going to stop us.
Nope.
There'll be no way for them to stop us. And this week with O'Connell up in, taking snaps this week, I see it as you guys know, his go-to guy is Jacoby Meyer. We all know, hey, they can march up that field, pretty much like what they did to Carolina once O'Connell came in. And this time we're going to get all 4 quarters of it. And I think with that alone, we can march up the field. You were saying, Chris?
Yeah, I agree with pretty much everything you said. I think it's going to be a physical game. O-line going to have to be on point, with J.J. Watt there. just and we can't afford mistakes, costly mistakes. All of our losses have been with our own mistakes, really. So I think we cleaned those up. Aiden, they want to push the ball down the field. I think he'll be able to do it. And I'm excited to see the dude finally get his start this season. I think this should be a win for us. But it's a Raiders Steeler game, so those are always physical and close. I don't expect Sunday to be any pretty much different. But like I said, hopefully, I think we should be able to get the win this Sunday afternoon. But that's just my opinion.
You guys want to know something? To build upon what Chris said, this is one of those games, and you guys know this. There are 4 franchises that we've had problems with as far as these kind of games go, where you have to throw all the records, all the stats, all the standings out the window.
Yep.
Out the window. You just gotta get in their face and just play them. And the Steelers is one of them. Of course, you guys know the other ones are the Texans, the Ravens, who we just played, and the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Throw everything out the window. You just got to get in their faces and play them.
Yeah.
Never mind the stats. Never mind who's in first place, who's in last. It doesn't really matter. Not with these kind of games.
Yeah. I think the typical game as usual. Raiders Steelers. Rivalry still there, strong. Like I said, I think Aiden, they want to push the ball downfield. Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, they all work together on the off season, try to get this thing going. So, like I said, I'm excited to see him finally get a start and see what we could do. I hope it's a brand new looking offense for us on Sunday. But we still got to be cautious of the Steelers' backfield because they do have some guys that can make some plays. And the fact that they're coming off 2 straight losses after getting 3 wins, I know they're hungry for a win just like we are. So that's something to keep in mind too. But like I said, just don't do any costly mistakes. We should be able to get this win.
What say you guys, Fred, Anthony?
Well, the thing is, for me, is ball control, man. And the game, and just like the game you lost last week, I kept saying, beforehand, ball control, ball control, ball control. The same thing is going to be for me again. Ball control, ball control, ball control. Don't make many mistakes on offense.
Right.
Make sure we get target our guys we need, and if we don't have a throw it out of bounds, or if we got a first down, run it, slide or something, man. We just don't need to make couple interceptions, man, like we did with the Broncos last week. We don't need to try to make something out of nothing when there's nothing there. So what we need to do is just play simple football. Don't be too fancy. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. If we don't have it, just throw it away. Or just drop, man. just drop.
Yeah.
We don't need no fumbles. We don't need no fumbles, man. No
There it is. Run, pitch, and catch. Run, pitch, and catch.
Right. Thank you.
Run, pitch, and catch. Anthony, what say you?
Well, for tomorrow, I gotta say though, just watching these last few games has really made me appreciate what AOC did last year. Even though, like, it's pretty much a manager fashion or whatever, I still can respect that over turning over the ball, you know, any day of the week. So with him in the seat this week, I just think obviously you got to beware of TJ Watt and just keep that defense tired. Run the ball. Don't try and get too fancy, throwing too much with the pass rushers over there. I don't really know too much about their secondary. I don't think anybody really knows too much about their secondary, but we know like up front is where the heat is with them. So get them dudes tired.
Right. And to sum it up, I mean, from what I'm getting from you guys, and I can agree, the deciding factor, like I just said, might be the time of possession.
Definitely.
Who can hold the ball the longest?
Yeah.
Who can hold on to the ball? And with us, we have to convert third downs because, as you guys well know, field goals is not going to beat the Steelers.
Nope.
Nope.
You have to score on them. And lately, they have been, I don't know if they lead the league or not, but I know they have to be within the top 3 of blocking field goal kicks. So chipping away at them with field goals, that's not going to be, you can't put all those eggs in that basket. You're going to have to score touchdowns on them.
Yeah. And we should be scoring touchdowns anyway. Like, it's week 6.
Of course.
Got the quarterback. I think most of the fan base wanted to see. So and he has a great arm. He can fling it down the field. So I really don't see why we can't get into the end zone more than we have the previous 5 games.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I know.
Right. And with that, like I said, you get Matheson to get these rushes. I think because the way that their defense is set up, good B-gap rushes and tosses might work.
Yeah.
And, I wouldn't try to go for any type of long vertical balls.
Yeah.
Intermediate should be the furthest you throw. Just shorten it. Basically, fling it over their heads.
Yeah.
Those front 7, fling it over their heads.
Yeah.
And, you can gain positive yards there. Because with this, I don't think it's going to be just necessarily the catches, but it's going to be all the yak yards that goes behind it. That's what's going to be, that's the most important. Once you get the ball, okay, what do you do with it?
Yeah.
That's going to be, And again, this all goes along with the time of possession. If we can manage that clock and keep possession of that ball, we have a better chance of winning. Just like, it's almost evenly matched because they're basically in the same hole that we are in anyway. And on their side of the coin, probably the same thing. Try to keep the ball as long as you can.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be harder for them with their top running back listed as questionable, and Patterson has been out hurt. Cordell Patterson is hurt. So that leaves it up to these other 2 rookies that they have. And, well, I don't know how good or bad they are. They haven't really played all that much. So, again, here comes that unpredictability again.
Well, the Raiders really better be on their stuff about putting the hat on the hat because
Right.
we're gonna be on the road and you know how that goes. You don't want to get
The other
tired
thing
and you
is,
don't want to let
right.
the crowd get into it because we're on the road when we're in Vegas.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, so there you go. And the thing is what gets me, to go back to what I was just saying about as far as the run game goes on their part, especially with 2 rookie running backs, is that we have had problems on defense with stopping the run. That has been one of our biggest Achilles heels. And, it looks a little bit better. I mean, we basically contained Denver with a run last week. But we'll have, but I can still see where they have to tighten up on run stop. Because if they decide, hey, this pass isn't working, we're going to go on ahead and experiment with these running backs, we could probably be in a lot of trouble.
We could be.
We could be in a lot of trouble with that. So I think, they're going to have to definitely keep watch on the run game.
Man, every time I watch and I see, the first run of the game go for like anything over 5 yards, I'm like, it's gonna be a long day with our defense. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, you gotta contain George Pickens because he is their best receiver. He
Right.
can plays, but we gotta, the DB's gotta protect, keep an eye on him at all times because, like I say, he can make plays when they are on point. But I know they've been, like I said, they've been struggling, the past few games here. So hopefully the struggles continue Sunday, and that's all.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Pickens, he has been one of their top receivers, especially they'll even go with a screen on him, like I said.
Yeah.
Van Jefferson is another one you have to really watch out for.
Yeah.
He's been, to me, one of those receivers that a lot of defenses have been asleep on.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't underestimate him. Listening to a lot of the fans last week going to face Denver, a lot of people had no idea that Patrick Surtain would be as effective as he was. Talking about players. And we had said it last week, how effective they would be, and not to sleep on certain people in so many words. This is the same thing all over again. I would not sleep on Van Jefferson at all.
Yeah.
Nope.
I wouldn't sleep on him. No. But yeah, like I said, I think time of possession is really going to be the key factor. And I'll tell you what, Justin Fields, to me, has been a little. I guess maybe he's gotten complacent with it, with his gameplay. But yeah, we get pressure on him. I've seen him crack under pressure in the last 2 or 3 games. You get close to him, and he struggles to get rid of the ball in a hurry. Dallas did that to him. Made him throw before he wants to. Kind of like Patrick Mahomes in that regard. Make him throw before he wants to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
we do have Christian Wilkins out for some games, so it's Matthew Butler that is going to come in and help the D line. So basically, Max is like the only original starter from start of the season. So hopefully they step up. The backups have been doing a good job so far as coming in and doing. I don't think we've lost these games because of them. We just got to play complimentary football because the 2 wins we do have, it was because they were playing complimentary football. So, offense on point, defense is on point. I don't really think, we're going to lose too often when that happens. But it's just when one side's playing and the other's not, that's when.
Exactly.
Right.
3 losses we have.
I was just about to say these losses are on the offense, really, the way I see it. You got to move the chains. If they're moving the chains, they're scoring points, and you're not. We don't have the firepower right now at QB at all to come back from 14 points or 20 points or something. We got to stay on these people's neck.
Yep. Exactly. What you were saying about the defense a minute ago, Chris.
Yeah.
To look at Crosby out there, and with a lack of having a good pass rusher on the other side of the ball, a lot of that has fallen on Robert Spillane's shoulders.
Yeah.
And
it's almost like he's trying to do it by himself out there, man.
Just about.
He needs more help, man. He needs more help.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, he needs a supporting cast. These two guys can't do it alone. Clearly, they're not. I mean, a lot of people may not realize this, but both of those guys got hurt during the Panthers game in week 3.
Yep.
And they're not fully at 100%.
Yep.
They're not fully at 100%. So these other guys, and I guess in that regard, we've been fortunate because the guys who we have rotated in has managed to step up and play a little better grade of ball. The offense, again, like you guys said, has been struggling, mainly because, for whatever reasons, they want to play in zone and not in power.
Yeah.
You play in power and you can run these guys down. Again, you know, power ball control. They want to have all 7 guys up front. Okay. As soon as one of these ball carriers gets within that, like I said, that secondary is playing deep. So soon as those ball carriers get, you know, in between that front 7 and that secondary, hey, you got, you know, you have the lion's share, pick of the litter. You can throw any of those guys. And again, I think, hey, 10, 15 yards easy. And just keep chipping away with establish a rhythm like that. Sure. Establish the rhythm. And if that happens, then we should be able to pull this one off. But again, converting third downs and not stalling in the red zone. We stall in the red zone, we'll definitely lose this one, especially against these guys.
Yep.
Yeah, field goals don't work.
Right.
And it is important to note that all of the Steelers' losses have came from very close games. So it's not like they've been blown out. So
No.
you know, keep in mind too that they do fight.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. Because that last one against Dallas could have easily went the other way.
Oh yeah.
Right.
A lot of people say they should have won that game.
Yeah, in fact, I thought they did win that game, fellas.
Yeah. They were in full control of that for the longest. So
They were.
yeah. So again, we have to watch out for that because they're not likely to have that mistake again. So yeah.
Yeah,
But I
you know,
think
you
if
really
we-
don't want them after a loss too. I think
No.
we're gonna have to put up some points.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to put up some
Yeah.
points. It's like Chris said last week. You know, first one to 20. I see another low scoring affair. Hopefully, no mistakes on our part. You know,
Right.
if we can
Well,
get
again-
after Fields, man, you know, because I still don't really, you know, do y'all respect him as a passer?
I don't. I think he's more
Not
dangerous.
really.
Yeah.
He's more dangerous. He's more dangerous with his legs than passing the ball, man.
Yeah.
Right.
There is a good chance because Russell Wilson is active. There is a good chance they can make the switch to Russell Wilson if things aren't going Fields' way. So
Yeah.
just keep in mind too while you're watching the game.
Exactly. He
Yeah.
go down 14-0. You might see, man. He go down 7-0. You might see Russell Wilson up in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. They might pull a switcheroo on us. Yeah. Next thing you know, here comes Wilson back out here taking snaps again. You know. Oh yeah. Not just that, but the Steelers are another one. Mike Tomlin loves to do these 8 points, 2-point conversions, get 8 points on the board.
Yes.
These are kind of things, and they tend to try to go for it a lot on 4th down.
Yeah.
So there you go, Raider Nation. This is who we're up against. This is what we're facing. This is what we have to get past. But I think we have the horsepower to do it if we use it right. Again, I can't stress this enough. It's going to come down, in my opinion, who can hold the time of possession.
Yep.
Who can hold it? Whoever holds it the longest would likely be the winner.
This right here might be the turnaround of the season for the Raiders.
I surely hope so. I surely hope so. We can definitely use this win here. We can definitely use this one. Definitely. So, I guess that's about going to do it for us this week, Raider Nation. I say, as you guys know, like I say, anywho, that's my 2 cents, and enjoy the game.
All right, guys. Signing out. Raider Nation. We're going to see you guys, talk to you guys after this win. You guys enjoy the game.
Enjoy the next week, Raider Nation. Enjoy the game.
Next week. Enjoy.